Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Risa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
If you would like a podcast that has immature themes and immature language, no. Anyway, they just don't swear a lot. Then go ahead and try hers very own Unlocked. I mean, I assume they don't swear a lot. In all fairness, I haven't listened to it.
Not that I've listened. Not that I've heard, I don't think. I haven't heard them swear. I feel like they don't swear.
I would assume they don't. In all
fairness,
fairness,
I would have
sister,
to be fair,
have we been putting people towards a show that isn't what we think it is?
I mean, I haven't heard them swear, but to be fair, I don't know how much I would notice swearing at this point.
Right?
I felt really bad. I was on, earlier today, I was recording a panel show about Solo for a family-friendly podcast.
Sure.
And I'm generally pretty good about staying family-friendly, for the most part. But I was talking about, Han knows that the Millennium Falcon is a piece of junk.
Go sus.
And they all started laughing. And I was like, I can't help it.
Yeah.
Okay. But what are we talking about today? Because it's not Solo.
It's not Solo.
I've done that.
No, we're not talking about Solo. And then we talked about it with our mom because she just saw it today. But anyway. I mean, we can. Do you want us to talk about Solo? No. Today, we are gonna...
This can be a Star Wars podcast. Anytime you want.
Honestly.
We could seamlessly go Nancy Drew to Star Wars.
And then go right into
and
Garfield.
Then back again. President Garfield.
President Garfield.
Okay, we're good. What are we talking about today, sister?
How about how I want to be ambassador to France?
Thanks, Charles Cateau.
That's a Garfield joke. No, today we are talking about... Jesus shit. Okay, we're talking about fixing more games. So we're going to make more games.
We are...
Cool.
We're going to fix even more games today. Probably, if we can speak. It's been a day.
Oh, Jesus shit.
It's been a day for the both of us. Honestly, yes, it has been a week. What's the first game we're going to fix?
The first game we're going to fix is one that I played recently, which is right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is Message in a Haunted Mansion.
Did you forget the name of the game for a
No,
second?
I thought you wanted me to talk about another one for a second. I was like, oh, are we not going in order? So
I was telling you to pick whichever one you wanted to talk about first. So Message in a Haunted Mansion, you already said it, so we gotta do it now.
I'm sorry, we can edit it out.
No. This is you. You did this. You have to live with it. So there.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Message in a Haunted Mansion first.
We're going to talk a little bit about Message in a Haunted Mansion. So, honestly, excellent premise to begin with. Like, you go in, it's about, there's this mansion being renovated, there are ghosty things sabotaging the renovations, and everyone is there under fishy circumstances. Which, side note, Rose really just, super accepts everybody just showing up at her fucking front door.
We've talked about that.
But, that's a character choice. I'm fine with that being her character. People show up under fishy circumstances. That's great. Makes everybody a suspect, including Rose with the fire insurance. So, this is all very...
Abby took out the fire insurance, not Rose.
What?
Abby took out the fire insurance.
No, Rose took out the fire insurance. That's why Abby goes, oh yeah, I know of a million reasons why Rose would set the fire. Because it's $1 million insurance.
See, that's just way too low. Continue.
At any rate, it is a classic Nancy Drew premise. Okay, that's great.
Oh yeah.
It's perfect. It's a great setup. It's then just done terribly. So, there is no progress in the story. There's no story that gets moved forward. Everything just sort of happens around. You're plopped into this sandbox and told, there's things in here to find. Find them. And when you find them, they don't really affect anything. It should feel like we're plopped... We're plopped into a scavenger hunt, not plopped into a storyline. It's just like, there's things for you to find. Go find. It's an Easter egg hunt. It's an Easter egg hunt because at least in a scavenger hunt, you get a list. In an Easter egg hunt, it's just like, there's things you can find. Go get them. The Easter Bunny left these for you. Her Interactive left these plot devices for you. They're not going to move anything forward, but you can sleep and that'll maybe make things happen. So anyway, point is, there's no actual plot to move forward, so we need to give it one. One of the ways we can do that is we can give the accidents more weight. Because basically, okay, we're sent there because of these accidents that are happening around the renovation. Hannah's all concerned about her friend Rose, blah, 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 blah. Then we get there and everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? There are no accidents happening. It's like, that's not a case, Hannah. So,
I'm sorry. No, Hannah just used us for free labor for her friend. Don't cope this like Hannah was trying to get us to go help a friend, like, with a mystery. No, she was just using us. Indentured servitude is what was happening.
Which is perfect for San Francisco. See? It's
True
perfect.
shit.
Indentured servitude. It's great. It's perfect. Anyway.
It works.
So we're there because there's supposed to be accidents happening. We're under the guise that there's supposed to be accidents happening. And then everybody's like, what? There's no accidents. I mean, things are going wrong, but like there's no accidents happening. So what I need are physical accidents to happen. Preferably while Nancy is there. And I don't just mean the fire that gets started, because that's not an accident, that's arson.
Ghostly arson.
Ghostly arson. Who put the box there? Who knows? Oh no.
No, that's our next game we're gonna fix.
There's a fire. It's too late. So yeah, these accidents need to have weight. They literally have to weigh on Rose. She has to be like, oh my god, I want to get these things done, but these accidents keep happening, and I'm just wondering if this is even meant to be, you know, instead of, oh, there's things going on, and I'm busy. Like, Charlie needs
Nancy,
to be...
I'm too busy to talk to you.
Right, I'm too busy to talk to you. I found something in your attic. Fuck you. This is it as important as these bills? Which, in all fairness, that's adulthood right there. But it's just like...
Sure shit.
It's just like, I'm sorry. Is it as important as this paperwork that I have right here? I mean, maybe. So, like, maybe we should go check it. No. There's an entire new room in your house, Rose. Papers. So anyway, so it needs to weigh on Rose. She has to, like, be like, accidents, oh my god. And then Charlie needs to be like, I'm trying to fix these things that these ghosts have done. I'm simple Charlie. And Abby can really keep doing what she's doing. Honestly, she's fine. She's great. I mean, she's not great, but at least she's consistent. And she's like, yes, ghosts have been causing these accidents. Well, until she says Charlie's doing it. Anyway, not the point. She needs to lean into ghost shit. And then Lewis, if he is going to deny the shit, because he's the worst about it. At least everybody else is just like, oh, you know, things are a little rough, but it's fine. Lewis is literally just like, what? I mean, you know, a few deliveries have been late, but it's all fine. I would call them accidents. That's my Lewis.
Amazing.
Thank you. It's Lewis the Horse Chandler.
I sounded more like Teddy Roosevelt.
So anyway. If you can't tell, this is the second show we're doing, and I'm too drunk already. So,
She didn't eat.
the accidents need to happen with Nancy there. Like, maybe the scaffolding that's there in prominent view, it's there. It is freaking Chekhov's gun. It is ready. It is there.
I know, right?
It is sitting there staring at us the whole fucking time, and nothing happens with it, sister. Sister, nothing happens. And so, like,
Can we even go on it?
No! We, like, find a paint scraper adjacent to it. That's it. And I need that to almost fall on Charlie and kill him. Like, almost kill him. Almost kill him. Almost fall on Charlie and almost kill him. Almost. Don't. I mean, you could kill him. It would be like.
It wouldn't be detrimental to the plot, to be honest.
I mean, what? We wouldn't understand the why he's living there? I mean, that's about it.
Honestly, if this was made today, he totally would get squashed like Dylan in Tomb of the Lost Queen.
Just like shipped off.
Honestly.
Like, all right, fine, he's gone.
If we had like cell phones really back then, all that much. I have like an eyelash.
How we could have gone and visited him in the hospital like we do with Henrik. Like, it would have been fine. Anyway, point being.
If it falls on Charlie and kills him, then who is it?
Also, how would we talk to him on the phone if it kills him? I guess that'd be a bit of a problem. Oh, this episode's gonna need to be heavily edited.
That's fine. It's your edit. I don't care.
Thank you. So maybe also some of the tiles that are we need to take down in the end of the hallway come down on Abby. And that's why we have to do it, because, you know, it fell on Abby, and so it's like, oh, she won't do it anymore because this accident happened to her. Oh, look, it's an accident. So we have more of a fucking thing. And it's also, if there's an accident that happens with Abby, she could be like, I feel like the ghosts just don't want me over in that corner. And it's like, oh, that's why she's getting out of work. See? Do you see how these things are, like, melding? Anyway, and then maybe, like, Rose falls through the floor into the basement. She's okay. She's okay. She goes right back to paying bills. But, like, things need to happen, basically, is what I'm saying. Long to short. Additionally, let's move past the accidents. Shit. Jesus shit. The way back when, as I like to call it, which is when there's a historical subtext to a story. Anyway, there needs to actually be a story there. So basically, the Lizzie and Valdez thing is clearly a proto Francis and Dirk.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Which, yeah, it's clear, but so we know that it can work. Additionally, yeah. Did I say at the time of the show? Did I say, holy shit, Diego Valdez and Dirk Valentine, DV?
You didn't.
Anyway, so it's DV, and then we've got Francis, a.k.a. Franny, and Elizabeth, a.k.a. Lizzie.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't... Anyway, and one's a criminal, one's a musician. Jesus Christ! Oh, no, wait, she's an actress. Never mind. But she does have musical talent. Point being, it's clearly a happenstance that can work. We can make people care about it, because, honestly, we love the Francis-Dirk relationship. It's a great part of Secret of Shadow Ranch. And so Lizzie and Valdez could be just as good if it wasn't so obtuse of a storyline. Like
they just don't cover it very well.
They don't cover it well, and they pretend like we don't know the whole time that Valdez.
They're like, oh no,
and
who could E. Valdez be as well?
E. Valdez? Who's E. Valdez? I mean, did Diego Valdez have some random wife that we didn't know about? Also, is Lizzie's first name Elizabeth? I don't know, but it's like, and then, oh, who's El Diablo? I don't know. He came up at the same time as fucking Valdez did, so maybe that's him. And so it's just like, don't be cutesy. All right, let's just have these truths in front of us. Okay, let's not pussyfoot around this. This is what the story is. There was a guy who did all these robberies, and here's the woman that he loved, and he had to leave her behind because he, didn't want to put her in danger. He left her with all this money. Additionally, clearly that story's not told very well, because I wasn't sure about certain aspects of it, and I went to look it up while I was looking for things to do on these notes, and the official Wikia, for Nancy, they're like, oh yeah, so Diego leaves these clues for her, but she can't figure it out because she dies before she can find the treasure, and it's like, hold up, wait a second. And I made sure to look, and another person who actually like played the game through and then posted about it was like, yeah, so Lizzie hid these things because she was waiting for him to return. And so clearly you didn't tell the story very well, because there's a good portion of the fandom that thinks that it's one person who did it, and the other thinks it's the other person. We need to have a very clear, concise story. So anyway, we need that to be better. So basically, let's be very transparent about this whole storyline. Let's actually have, like, okay, we know who El Diablo is. This isn't a mystery. We know who, and the fact that, okay, Charlie was studying it, so he actually knows who it is. Let's not have him be, because then he misleads us. He's like, oh, I believe that, like, I pushed up imaginary glasses, like,
he didn't wear glasses.
He's not that. Anyway, but the point is, I believe that it's an amalgamation of all these different robbers in that time period. And it's like, nope, you're fucking wrong. So they mislead us.
To be fair.
Purposefully. They purposely fucking mislead us. And that's infuriating.
Charlie was just an undergrad. You can't really blame him.
No, I can. I can. Anyway, the point is, they need to actually give us a solid fucking story so we can give a shit. Now, let's move on from that point, because I think I've talked about it for 20 minutes. The house. Just a very small part of this. I can't talk about this, like, in podcast form with, like, a display in front of me, but let's revamp the floor plan of this place, because it is too wide for a Victorian mansion in San Francisco. Yeah,
like normally we don't really have very many like notes on the set of a game. Mm-hmm. The sets are usually pretty good, but the set on this game is just inaccurate, like hugely inaccurate, and it's not even like they use most of the floor.
It's
like, that's the issue.
It's so upsetting, actually, because Victorian mansions are, especially, very specifically, the group of Victorian mansions, which are the San Franciscan ones, which were built to be the most amount of elegance into a very small space. So it's a lot of narrow halls, narrow stairwells, a lot of spiral staircases. It was just about getting as much elegance into as little space as possible. And if you're going to have something based in a San Franciscan Victorian mansion, then you need to stick to it, because it is a very specific design that is also very important to the timeline and space of the story. So it's like, if you're going to give us this kind of atmosphere, then really lean into it. So I guess I'm gonna stop there.
But yeah, agreed.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want me to go on then? On the next one?
Yeah.
That's how we fix message in a haunted mansion. I'm going to take on a Herculean task of fixing Secret of the Scarlet Hand. So, a lot of people actually really like Secret of the Scarlet Hand. We are not among those people. I'll put that out there. It's in, like, our bottom, probably 5. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's down there. Partially because we've played it so often.
I was getting ready to say.
Because we've played it so much, I know exactly how I would fix it. Oh. So, Secret of the Scarlet Hand. It's really complicated. However, we can take it down to being able to fix it in 3 different areas. The hook, the characters, and the ending. The basic plot is pretty solid on its own, but it just needs a facelift. Like Taylor. Haha. Also, just side note, if this game is about... Okay, we're learning about the Maya in all of this, right? We're learning about the Maya. Why the fuck do we learn anything about Nahuatl? And why do we learn about, like, Tlaloc, which is an Aztec god? And I think there's another one that might be an Aztec god. If you're going to make a game where you're learning about the Maya, how about we actually do some research into the Maya? I don't know. That sounds pretty easy to me. Because it's like, oh yes, we're going to use the Maya number system, but then we're just going to have you learn some Nahuatl, which was spoken by the Aztec, by the way. The Maya had their own subset of languages. So, like Yucatecan, Quichean, Mamayan, I think is another one.
Yep.
They had like 6 different language groups spoken by the Maya. So it's like, can we just learn one of theirs instead? Because they're also still spoken. Like, Nahuatl isn't the only indigenous language still spoken in Mexico, but whatever. Especially since we're talking about Mexico, where the Maya were part of Mexico, but they were also a huge amount in Central America, not just Mexico. But whatever. We're trying to make this easier to learn for the children. So, but still, if you're gonna do something, do it right. Because otherwise, what's the fucking point? I'm sorry. I'm very... just because I had to do a lot of classes on Latin American history and culture. All of this is I know. All of this
in
is
case
just...
nobody's listened to this podcast before, Ariana here was a student of pre-Columbian America. This is all my stuff, and we were talking about fixing this game earlier, and suddenly I went, wait, I'm sorry, I just remembered, wait, they need us to speak Nahuatl? Isn't this about the Mayans? And that's when we went, hey, wait a minute, yeah, it is about the Mayans.
Yeah. I've had an issue with this for a while, but that's one of the huge things, because it's just like, if you're going to learn about the Maya, just teach us about the Maya. And I was watching someone else stream Secret of the Scarlet Hand a couple weeks ago. V Budkey, if you want to watch her, she's awesome. But she was streaming it, and I was like, Tlaloc is an Aztec god. And she was like, what? I was like, that's not even a Maya god. Also, they say a lot of the Mayans. That's not the term.
Maya.
It's the Maya. But I was just like, it's the Maya. It's not the Mayans. That's not the name for them, but whatever. Okay, so let's start fixing it. Fix the hook. The hook so far is, I don't know, Nancy's got a rich dad, so she's interning at this place. That's the hook. Right? That's just what it is. So we need a reason for Nancy to be there. Like, we can fix this by having her, I don't know, she's been taking classes in Latin American history or archaeology, something to make her intern at a museum make more sense.
Preferably the archaeology thing, just because I want her to know how to handle these things.
The artifacts. So just something like that to make it make sense for her to be the intern there. Or we're learning about the museum, right? So is the museum having financial issues? We know that they kind of are, but we don't learn about it in depth. So if at the very beginning we're getting this feeling that Nancy's the bottom of the barrel, like we can't get good interns because we're not doing well. So we gotta scrape the bottom of the barrel here. Like, one of those things has to happen. The second one really works for me because we need to know more about the museum to make the plot work. Just because at this point it's like, oh yeah, they have the exhibit going on, and then, oh no, the thing goes missing, and then we just kind of have to deal with everyone's motives. What makes it work better is, for some reason your mic is getting really like loud noise-wise.
There's nothing
I don't know
happening
why.
on my end.
I know, it's like it's trying to like ramp up to try and hear you. I'm just going to turn it down on my side. Let me see if it's doing anything on the... No, it's barely showing up on the stream. Okay. But if we know more about the museum, then it makes more sense because we can... If we know that the museum is having issues, like either there's financial issues, which is in the game, but it's very back background that there's financial issues. But if we know from the beginning that there's financial issues or that there's been scandals, like if maybe there's been like issues with faked provenance in the museum, or if there's or if there's been like issues of people not being paid, or things ending up being replicas instead of being the actual artifacts, something like that happening would set us up for why Nancy is at this museum. Why is she here instead of an actual competent person? You know? Mm-hmm. It also should be, it's just like, I don't know. I think that's the good thing for the hook.
Yeah.
Is we have to have a reason why Nancy is here and why the Pakal carving being stolen could be anyone here.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that feeling of like, why does everyone have these issues? So now let's fix the characters. So let's break it down character by character, because we really need to. I feel like the characters are the part of this game that need the most work. Because they're terrible. Who knows? So, first, Joanna. As I wrote down, personality transplant, stat. So we need to give her a trait other than being annoying, because that is, she's one note, and that one note is she's annoying as fuck. We need to know more about her. Why is she in this position? Because she doesn't seem to actually be qualified for this position. You know? I mean, right?
Right.
She doesn't seem qualified for this position. So why is she in it? Is it because if we're already like establishing that there's been scandals, or if there's been like super money troubles at the museum, there's more of a reason for her to be the curator, the head curator. Because maybe other people have been fired, or, you know, they couldn't keep the more expensive curators, something like that. The more, like, actually well-known ones who no longer could afford them. Something like that. Like, is she the last resort? Have people been quitting in front of her, and she's being put upon by accepting this role? Is that why she seems so fucking stressed all the time? And like, I don't know, just do your thing. Because really, she should be helping us. And she's not.
Not how internships work.
She's just like, go ask Henrik. And it's like, so we just need to give her something. Like, her motive is pretty solid. Mm-hmm. If she's the one who stole it, it's to collect insurance money. To recoup losses for the museum. Like, that's pretty solid. That's why she's doing it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it needs to be
Everything
a stronger
else.
case for needing to do it. You know? It's just like, why did she... Like, we don't know enough about the financial problems happening.
Who knows?
Exactly. For it to make sense that she would steal an artifact to use it for the insurance money. Like, that is some last, like, ditch effort right there. So we need it to seem like it's last ditch effort. You know?
Yes.
So, that's Joanna. Alejandro. We need a new personality. Over here, quick, we're losing him. He is so bland. He just, like, the entire character is just him smiling and looking handsome. As much handsome.
I am
as handsome.
No.
As handsome as that kind of low quality model can be. But, like, that's all he has. So we need like more to him. So he has an okay premise and motive. We just need more. He needs to actually go in depth with Nancy about, like, he's like, yes, you're just all thieves. You steal everything from other countries. And then he just doesn't go into it. Right. It's just like, you guys are
offhanded comment, hey, by the way, let's try cookie recipes. Like,
I know. It's like, you know, this belongs in Mexico. And then he just doesn't really go into it. I think this is a good place to bring up to to children about colonization. Like, honestly, this is a good place for them to learn about it and why this kind of, a lot of people from different countries other than in the Western world. So we're talking, when I say Western world, I really just mean England, France, and America.
They're
getting
the
all
worst
of these
about it.
artifacts. Artifacts from other parts of the world that it's like, oh, it belongs to the British Museum. And it's like, and how did they get it? So it's one of those things where it's like, you really have to explain this to kids because they've never thought of it before. And I think it's a good learning opportunity to really go into it. But, you know, they were just like, you stole it. It belongs in Mexico.
Which, honestly,
and then Nancy
just
goes all
sounds
weird
like...
apologetic on it. Well, we didn't steal it. Bitch.
I mean...
You did. I mean, you personally did not.
Not we personally, but, like, yeah, it's like, But yeah, just saying, oh, you stole it, it's like that Spanish teacher that we had who said that we stole California from Mexico, and that Mexico was going to rise up and revolt. So it needs to have more of a basis than just that.
Yes, because telling children that was not enough for us to understand what she was talking about.
I lived in fear of revolution for a very long time.
But he just needs to actually go in depth about it, I feel. Like, we need to know why he would steal the carving. I know he would want to return it to Mexico and everything, but there needs to be more of that explanation of his motive. And also, why the fuck does he know Nahuatl? Like, that is never explained. Are we supposed to believe that just all Mexican people know Nahuatl? Which isn't the case. I'll tell you now. So if we're going to have to use Nahuatl, which makes kind of okay amount of sense if we're just dealing with random black market people, I guess.
Sure. There's enough of a, certain, I don't know. But it is a category of people. There are people who use that because if nothing else, they're the, people, I don't know.
Yeah,
it exists. It's just not, a major thing for the most part.
Nahuatl and a lot of other actual Maya languages are still spoken by whole communities, by the way, in Mexico. These languages are not dead. The Maya are not gone. They still exist, which, just putting that out there, which is a huge issue I have with this game, acting like the Maya are just gone. They're not.
They're not.
They still
just
exist.
Disappear. They
didn't get abducted by aliens. They just, dispersed. There's no, they still exist. They still speak those indigenous languages as well. So, it's just, that's a thing. So if Alejandro is going to know Nahuatl, instead of just asking a random Mexican person, do you know Nahuatl? Maybe he's already said something about it, about his, I don't know, his abuela who spoke Nahuatl. Something like that. We just need a reason instead of just going up to the first Mexican person we see and going,
or maybe he actually has a background in some kind of archaeology and therefore he studied Nahuatl in order to be able to translate things. That makes way more sense.
Anything like that. Anything that's not just, you're the only Mexican person I know. Do you speak Nahuatl? Because that's what it is in the game. And that's legit,
super racist. Super
racist.
It is the most racist you get in these games, I think.
Honestly, yeah. So we just need some reason. Maybe he did a whole bunch of stuff. Just talk about his studies or something. But, that's just ridiculous. That's just one of my things. And maybe him talking about, any of that works. Anything about his relationship to the Maya or the Aztec or anything like that would help the entire character, honestly, instead of just being, racist. So Henrik is a pretty alright character. he's a legit okay character on the surface. But I want to know more about him. About him before he loses his memory. We learn everything about him after he loses his memory, which is just like, why? But it's like, why is he at Beach Hill? Is he at Beach Hill because, like, is him being there putting a strain on the finances at Beach Hill? Are they having to pay a lot to have him there? Or is he super cheap after the scandal at Chaco Canyon? Like, we have to have a reason why he's here. Something like that. Just talk about it like that. And how about in his notes when we do go find them after he's, you know, amnesiaed?
He's all amnesified.
He's all amnesiaed. Maybe when we find his notes, they actually tell us what deal he was going to make instead of Nancy just making a black market deal for no reason whatsoever, which is what happens in the game for realsies. She just makes that, and in her notes, she legit says she doesn't know what she's going to get. So, that's an issue, in my opinion, that I would like to close. So maybe he put something in there. And also, they never explain why he falls off the stairs. There's no, like, Taylor pushed him or something like that.
Yeah, I thought we should assume that.
We're supposed to assume it, but it's never said. Like, did Taylor push him? Was there a confrontation about it with Taylor? Did Taylor, like, know he stole it and confront him about it? Like, what happened there? Because we don't get any sort of closure on that incident. Did Henrik throw himself off the stairs to get amnesia so no one would know where the carving was?
Who knows?
Who knows? So that's a thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Henrik is actually a pretty good character. He's the only one in the cast I don't want to strangle.
Yeah.
So even when he goes, I don't remember.
He's really upset.
He does. But then Taylor, Mr. Big Bunny himself, we need more references in the game to show that he's the same guy. It's like we get the references from Henrik's notes, which you don't actually have to read all of in the game. You don't have to progress. But they give us all the notes saying he went to Central America with some guy that he calls Big Bunny, and then Poppy Dada later says something about, oh, Big Bunny, right? That's the only thing we get that interlocks them. And it's weird. Like, if you're going to do a thing, commit to it. Like, that's always my biggest thing in these fix the games.
Committing. Yeah.
It's just commit to it.
Definitely.
And we just need to know more about Taylor. Like, and his relationship with Henrik, honestly. Because there is this thing where they went to Central America together on a huge expedition. And then neither of them ever talks about it? That's weird. That doesn't get explained.
That needs to be explained.
Like, is Taylor why Henrik got the job at Beach Hill? Is Taylor blackmailing him or something? And that's why Henrik steals the Pakal to hide it from him? I just need something to explain that. And please give him a makeover, because Taylor is terrifying to look at. It's just scary.
So upsetting.
And also, like, they do a good job of giving him the motive. Like, they do seed that for you, which I appreciate. But otherwise, it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. And I'd like them to tone down the weird.
Yeah.
You know? And then the ending. The ending is the last part we need to fix. So, first off, who the fuck let Henrik out of the hospital? So, if anyone forgets, the ending of Secret of the Scarlet Hand is we get trapped in the monolith. We have to save ourselves before we run out of breath, suffocate, and become part of the exhibit. If we do get out, we are met by Henrik, Alejandro, and Joanna all standing outside reciting a poem to us. So first, who let Henrik out of the hospital? He had brain trauma. He should not be out of the hospital. Second, the poem. Fuck the poem. Get it out of here. Just get it out. No one likes the poem. The poem is weird. The poem is just weird as fuck. Just stop, please. Honestly. Okay, but let's break it down. How do we fix the ending of this game? First, getting stuck in the monolith is fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's not fun to do, but story-wise, it's fine. It's okay. So we'll keep it. We get stuck in the monolith and we have to get out. However, the way the game actually ends is Taylor gets away, but with the fake thing, right? So we get stuck in the monolith.
Fake thing, so it's fine.
It's fine. He totally couldn't just get away after murdering us. Like, he tries to legit murder us. So, how about instead, this is what I posit. Instead of the weird-ass shit where Taylor gets away, we come out of the monolith, and people are reciting a poem at us, how about we get out of the monolith and we find that as Taylor's leaving, Alejandro shows up. And he just clocks him. Like, he sees him running out with an artifact and just punches him, right? Henrik just isn't there. He's not there.
No, he's recovering. He gets to actually be in the hospital where he needs to be.
We just find him in the follow-up that's like, and Henrik is working on is doing much better, and he's gonna go home soon. Just something like that. He's not out of the hospital. He had severe brain trauma. Like, that needs to stay there. He needs to not come home yet.
Exactly. He needs to not just go into a coma because of this.
And if Joanna is going to be there, if she's going to show up, like, she needs a reason to be there. Maybe Nancy called her before going out to the carving. Like, we have to call her or something. And we're saying that we're going to go to the carving. And maybe she calls the cops or something. And she shows up with the cops to arrest Taylor. Something like that. Maybe even just like, she's going to show up with the cops to arrest us even. And then they find Taylor knocked out cold from Alejandro or something like that. Like, we need something like that. Because otherwise, it's bullshit. It is just, that ending is so bad. Like, the ending is maybe 50% of the reason why I dislike this game.
Yes.
Because it doesn't actually end anything. No. But if we do something like that, and we just hear about in the end, in the little wrap up, with she's riding home to Hannah or Ned or whoever the fuck she's talking to, and she's just like, and Henrik is translating all the glyphs from the Whisperer's tablet. Something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And just being like, Joanna's back in charge of everything because all the things were cleared from her. She's been allowed back in.
Exactly.
Something like that instead of what happens, because honestly, that's terrible.
Everything's up in the air, and we assume everything's fine. And we need give us a clear ending.
So there we go. That game is fucking fixed.
Boom.
So there we go. We fixed 2 more games for you.
Go us.
Yeah. Go us. Honestly, we're doing all this hard work for you guys.
We are. Ugh. We're not even getting thanked for it.
Yeah. So, that was us fixing 2 more games. If you guys have games you would like us to fix, please let us know on our Twitter, Tumblr, SoundCloud, YouTube, or even our Twitch streams if you show up during one of our streams, or if you even just leave a comment on one of our VODs, we'll see it as well. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say about this, other than if you want to buy us a digital coffee, you can on if you can go to ko-fi.com/Krolmeister Sisters. And as a reminder, I'm Risa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister Sisters, and we're asking you guys to stay sleuthy.